transfer to Manchester United now.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Peter Guest and the Moose here for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Spanish La Liga for the 4th to the 7th of April 2025. And you can see the details for the matches we're about to discuss in the description area of this podcast, along with fixtures on footballpredictions.net from just about every other football competition in the world.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we are about to discuss. If you're streaming any matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
First off on Friday the 4th of April at 8 p.m. UK time is Rayo Vallecano in 7th, taking on Espanyol, who are 16th. And if you visit footballpredictions.net and look in the description of this podcast, you'll be able to see your local kickoff time, betting odds, and broadcast streaming channels. This one is available on Bet365. All you need to qualify to watch for that is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up with the bonus code FP365 when you join. You can also watch this one under subscription on Premier Sports Extra and La Liga TV and Premier Sports Player. Well, Rayo Vallecano have had a nice little away win for themselves.
Yeah, Rayo Vallecano, they do have some low-scoring games, but they got a very nice win last week at Alaves. They beat them 2-0. We had under 2.5 goals in that game, and I am going to start with just run through a few of our predictions for these two teams because they have been looking very solid. We had under 2.5 last weekend. In their most recent home game, we had Vallecano to draw Sociedad in a score draw. It ended 2-2. Before that, we predicted the correct score at Real Madrid, 2-1. Real Madrid, it ended with both teams to score against Sevilla, 1-1. Correct score when they lost at home to Villarreal. Vallecano lost 1-0 at home. We had that as a correct score. So yeah, last 5 matches, we have had some really good predictions, including 2 correct scores and the goals markets. But yeah, in terms of the form of Vallecano, last weekend, that was their first win in 6. It takes them back to 7th now. They are, however, they have slid quite a bit out of the spots for the European places. It's going to be very hard for them to make their way back. They do have 7 points up to Real Betis now for the Europa League spots. But I assume, given the cup tournaments, etc., there might be an extra spot here for Conference League for Vallecano at the end of the season. But yeah, 7 points off. They need a win here to get some contact with Betis. But you're playing Espanyol, and Espanyol, once again, our predictions last weekend, both teams to score prediction against Atletico Madrid. It ended 1-1 at Mallorca in the most recent away game. We had Mallorca to win, both teams to score. It ended 2-1 Mallorca. That came on the back of 3 under 2.5 goal predictions, which all went in on Espanyol. So I think look at Espanyol and look at our goals market prediction, because combined with what we have been doing on Vallecano, it's looking very solid. But yeah, in terms of form, Espanyol very much in a similar position to Vallecano. They've only won 1 out of their last 6. That was an away match to Alaves, the team that Vallecano also just beaten. So over the last 6 games, both teams have only managed to beat Alaves. And which leads us to the prediction for this game, which probably could be a bit of everything, but we do think home advantage.
Yeah, it could be a bit of anything, couldn't it? So we've kind of come up with something for this one, which we see a little bit of value in, but it's not that great. But we think Espanyol being so stingy, we think it's going to be under 2.5 goals. You can get odds there of 1.53. But we do see a Vallecano win, and actually you get better odds for that, 1.73. I mean, they're odds on to win, but 1.73 is probably a slightly more interesting one for you. Regarding the correct score, we've gone for 2-0. And unfortunately, you can only get odds of 6.5, which isn't great for a correct score prediction, but that's what we have, and that's what the bookies are offering at the moment. Putting your money on Rayo can be had at 1.73, like I said. The draw is 3.5, and Espanyol, you get 5.5 to win this one. So pretty high odds for an Espanyol, unlikely though, we think. Next, we've got Girona, who are 13th, taking on Alaves in 17th. It's on Saturday, the 5th of April, 1 p.m. UK time kickoff. Click the link in the description of this podcast and you'll be able to see your local kickoff time, odds, and streaming channels available to you in your geo. This one you can watch in the UK anyway on Premier Sports Extra, La Liga TV, Premier Sports Player. But if you want to not look at the subscription, go to Bet365, use the bonus code FP365 if you haven't joined them. And all you need there is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours with them. Well, not too much to cheer about from either of these two sides of late.
No, not at all. Girona now no wins from their last 7, and they got a heavy beating last weekend at Barcelona. We had 3-1 Barcelona. It ended 4-1. Again, both teams to score, and the outcome we had correct in that. And the 2 games prior to that, we had under 2.5 goals in the Girona games, which both ended 1-1. Now, what's interesting here is from the last 10 matches, Girona has just 1 win. Now, the most recent win before Las Palmas in February was Alaves away from home. That ended with a 1-0 win for Girona in that opposite fixture. And talking about Alaves, again, a very mixed bag of results for them of late. They have 1 win, 3 draws, and 2 defeats. Both of those defeats were actually at home, away from home. Alaves, despite their form, they've only lost 1 game away from home this year. That was at Barcelona. They have 5 draws and a win apart from that. So, yeah, they've only lost away to Barcelona. And then the other defeat, which came end of last year, was at Atletico. Should be forgiven to say that Alaves is a pushover here in terms of despite their position in the league and playing away from home, they do tend to have something in them, but it's very tight at the bottom. Alaves is on 27 points. That's on point with Leganés in 18th under the relegation zone, also on 27, and then Las Palmas with 26. So it's a very close race for those relegation spots. Looks like there's 4 teams in it for the 2 spots. Alaves is one of them. What do we think of them at Girona, though?
Yeah, I mean, Girona, if you look at on the face of it, are in worse form, aren't they? They're not doing well. They need a win badly. And we think they're probably going to snap out of their losing streak in this game. But our tip, though, is for both teams to score. And your odds there are 1.95 at the moment on the current bookies. Just getting all this information off footballpredictions.net, that link in the description. So, our full-time result prediction is for a Girona win. You get odds there of 2.05, so not much different. And in terms of correct score, we've gone for 2-1 home win. Odds of 9 currently available. That's 8-1 in fractional. And just to let you know the other odds, 3.4 for a draw, 3.6 for an Alaves win. So there's not a lot in it there, is there? But we think probably on the safety side, the both teams to score should get you hopefully something at 1.95. Next up, let's have a look at Real Madrid, second in the table, taking on Valencia, who are 15th. It's at 3:15 on Saturday afternoon, the 5th of April. That's UK time. Click the link in the description of this podcast, and then you'll be able to see all your localized, geo-located game odds, broadcast streaming channels, and everything like that. You can watch this one in the UK on Premier Sports Extra, La Liga TV, and Premier Sports Player. But if you like a better alternative where you don't need to pay for a subscription, go to Bet365, use the bonus code FP365 when you join. And to qualify for that, all you need is funds in your account, anything, or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Anyways, Real Madrid have been rolling along, as they usually do, but Valencia have had some pretty good results themselves lately.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting game. Valencia, obviously, for a long time, were in the bottom of the La Liga. They were in the relegation zone, bottom of the league, but they managed to really pull themselves out of the drop zone. They're now 4 points above the drop zone. Remember, they were very well in it. But a really good run of form after the New Year break. They've just got 3 defeats since coming back into the New Year. And those 3 defeats, once again, you'd be forgiven because it was Real Madrid at home, Barcelona away, and Atletico Madrid at home, who they lost to. And those 3 teams, of course, are quite superior at the top of La Liga. They're taking points from any of the other teams this year in La Liga, but mainly the wins are coming at home. So 5 out of their last 6 home games has ended in wins for Valencia, whilst away from home, Valencia is yet to win. So that's no away win so far this season for Valencia, but they do have a lot of draws though. 5 out of the last 6 matches away from home has ended in draws, and they've also managed to score at least 1 goal across those 6 games. So that's where Valencia is at the moment. It's looking fairly good for them, but they are meeting a Real Madrid team. Still a little bit of inconsistency, but they came out of that and they've now won 3 out of 3. But they have made some hard work of it. At Villarreal, they went a goal down and came back to win 2-1. Against Leganés last weekend, a Leganés game, we had a 3-1 correct score prediction. That one ended 3-2 Real Madrid. Real Madrid went 1-0 up, but Leganés were leading 2-1 at half time. And then Real Madrid had to come back in the second half to score 2 and win the game. Midweek, Sociedad at home in the Copa del Rey. Sociedad won the game 4-3. But Real Madrid had a 1-0 lead from the first game, and then they scored deep into extra time and managed to pull off a 4-4 draw, which meant they got through 5-4 on aggregate. So they made hard work of that. Both teams to score in that game. That's our main prediction. But Real Madrid, they look at it, they score a lot, concede a lot, but they're playing a Valencia team here who we know they just can't win away from home.
Yeah. And, Valencia haven't won away from home in the last 17 league matches, which is pretty rotten.
Yeah.
At the same time, they've not won against Real Madrid when they played them away from home in their last 16 league games, which you kind of would expect. But it's kind of heading in one direction, isn't it, in terms of who we think will win? And that's Real Madrid. 1.3 are the odds you can get for that. Slightly better odds, though, on what we're predicting for our tip, which is over 2.5 goals. Odds there at 1.53. What do we think about the result? We think it will be one-way traffic, and we've gone for a correct score of 3-0 to the home side. 8.5 are the odds you can get for them at the moment, and that's on at Bet365, those odds. So let's see how it unfolds at the Bernabeu. Next, we have got Mallorca, who are 9th in the table, taking on Celta Vigo, who are in 8th. Should be a good close one. It's on Saturday, the 5th of April, 5:30 evening time, kickoff UK time, that is. Click the link in the description of the podcast, of course, and you can find all your localized geo kickoff times, odds, streaming options, etc. Pardon me. This one's on Premier Sports Extra here in the UK. La Liga TV, Premier Sports Player. If you don't want to pay for a subscription, you can check it out on Bet365. Live stream it. To qualify for that, all you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. When you join, use the bonus code FP365. Now, Moose, Mallorca have just had a defeat, which has ended a good run for them.
Yeah, they were unbeaten in the previous 6 games to that defeat at Valencia last weekend. We did predict Mallorca to lose that game, so we did have the outcome correct because we did have Valencia to win. We also had the outcome and the goals marker correct in the last Mallorca home game because we had Mallorca to win and both teams to score against Espanyol. It ended 2-1 to Mallorca. But if we do look at the Mallorca games, they are tight games over those last 7 games. The 4 draws, 2 wins for Mallorca, and then that 1 defeat. And the 1 defeat was a 1-goal margin. The win was a 1-goal margin. They did have a 3-1 win against Las Palmas, but in general, some very, very close games when Mallorca is playing. Has to be said that in the 3 draws prior to the Espanyol game, we also had the goals markets correct because we had both teams to score at Bilbao. We had under 2.5 goals against Alaves and Sevilla, both ended 1-1. And just to cap it off over the last 6 games, we had the win prediction and both teams to score against Las Palmas as well. But if we look at Celta Vigo, they've actually done slightly better of late compared to Mallorca. They are unbeaten in 7. They got 4 wins and 3 draws. And again, also some close games here, because if we look at Celta Vigo, since coming back from the Christmas break, whether it's been a winning or losing, it's been with a 1-goal margin. So Celta Vigo's last 4 wins after the Christmas break has been all with a 1-goal margin, and the 3 defeats has also been with a 1-goal margin, and then you have 4 draws there. So I think we know where we're getting at here. We're trying to build it up, but anyway, Celta Vigo's last game was a 1-1 draw against Las Palmas. We had under 2.5 goals. That's our main prediction. We then predicted the outcome of Celta Vigo at Valladolid and at home to Leganés. But yeah, for our prediction for this game, what may we go for?
I think if you're a fan of either of these two, you'd be getting a bit sick of draws. And especially 1-1 draws, because there's been lots of them. We got 3, like you said, 3 in a row for Mallorca. And then we've had 2 in the last 6 1-1 draws, as well as the 2-2 draw for Celta Vigo. So unsurprisingly, we're being a bit boring today. We've gone for both teams to score prediction, because in all those games, it was always those draws, it was always both teams scoring. So odds that you can get for that are 1.95 for both teams to score. And yes, we have gone for a draw as well. Pretty good odds on a draw, actually. 3.1. I mean, it's a bit less than you'd normally get, because probably considering there have been so many of them lately, but 3.1 is a very good return if you do get a draw. And yeah, the correct score we've gone for is a 1-1. Odds for that, you can only get 6. So probably steer away necessarily from the correct score, but yeah, it just shows you that it's almost expected that this game will end something like that, doesn't it? Just looking at the actual odds for wins, if you think that either team might actually get a win, it's very close. There's not much in it. 2.63 for a home win and 2.8 for a Celta Vigo win. So yeah, everyone's kind of on the fence about this game. Let's move on to the summary games, in which we've got league leaders Barcelona taking on Real Betis, who are 6th in the table, and it's on Saturday, the 5th of April, 8 p.m. UK time, evening kickoff. Check in the description of the podcast, and you'll see all your localized kickoff times and streaming options. One of those is Bet365. To qualify to watch on there, all you need is any funds on your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. When you join, use the bonus code FP365. Well, this should be a really good game, because it's just a sea of wins, and just the, well, in fact, just wins, isn't it, for the last weeks or so for both of these sides. So it should be a really good, close game. We've gone for both teams to score in this one as well. And for a correct score prediction, we think it'll be Barcelona coming out on top, just with a correct score prediction of 2-1.
Yeah, and then moving on till Sunday, the 6th of April at 1 o'clock UK time. Got Las Palmas down at the bottom in 19th, takes on Real Sociedad in 10th. Now, once again, go football predictions for your local kickoff time, betting odds, team news, broadcast and streaming options for your geo. One being Bet365. In order to qualify, all you need is to have a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, please use that bonus code FP365 for your unique bonus. Now, for this game, we're going with a low-scoring game. We're going with an away win. So that's Sociedad to win, under 2.5 goals, and a correct score of 1-0 Sociedad.
Next up, it's Sevilla in 11th, taking on Atletico Madrid in 3rd. It's on Sunday, the 6th of April, and it's 3:15 in the afternoon, UK time. Check the link in the description of the podcast, and you'll find your localized kickoff time odds and streaming options. You can stream this one on Bet365 to qualify for it. All you need is any funds in your account whatsoever, or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use that bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Now, this should be an interesting and very close game, we think, and we've gone for an away win here. We've gone for an under 2.5 goals tip and a correct score of Sevilla 0, Atletico Madrid 1.
Yeah, and then Moving on to Real Valladolid in 20th, so bottom of La Liga, absolutely rooted down there. They take on Getafe in 12th. Now, this game kicks off Sunday, 6th of April at 5:30 UK time. Go to footballpredictions.net to check out your localized kickoff time odds, team news, TV channels, and streaming services. One of those streaming services being Bet365. In order to qualify, all you need is to have a funded account or place the bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up using that bonus code FP365. Now for this game, we are putting another nail in the Valladolid coffin because we are going for Getafe win, but an under 2.5 goal prediction, and that's a correct score of 1-0 to Getafe.
Yeah, next up, Villarreal, who are 5th, are taking on Athletic Bilbao, who are in 4th. And it's on Sunday, the 6th of April at 8 p.m. UK time. Click the link in the description of this podcast and you'll see your localized kickoff times, odds, and broadcast streaming channels. You can stream this one on Bet365 as well to qualify. Of course, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Use that bonus code FP365 when you join up. Okay, we think it's going to be another close one, but a home one. We've gone for a Villarreal win. We've gone for both teams to score as our tip and a correct score prediction of Villarreal 2, Athletic Bilbao 1.
Yeah, and then finally, Monday Night Football. We got Leganés in 18th, who takes on Osasuna in 14th. This game kicks off Monday, 7th of April at 8 o'clock UK time. And once again, go footballpredictions.net and you'll find your local kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels and team news. Now for the streaming, go to Bet365 because in order to qualify, all you need is to have a funded account or to place the bet in the last 24 hours and sign up with that bonus code FP365 in order to watch this game. Now for this game, we are going with a score draw of 1-1. So that's under 2.5 goals. Both teams to score is our main prediction.
Mm-hmm.
And a score draw of 1-1.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you're going to watch that on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. Full details are available on the Bet365 website, 18 plus gamble aware.
Yeah, and in the description area of this podcast, you can find links to the games we've just been discussing, or simply just visit footballpredictions.net. That way, you can browse the online places to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as the best offers and odds.
In case you didn't know, we record football podcasts across several competitions in addition to this one, and you can listen to them at podcast.footballpredictions.net, or of course where you normally source your favorite podcasts from, like Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. That is all. Thank you for listening, and until the next time, it is
Adios.
adios, amigo.
Football predictions.